So I'm Serafina Milbank and I'm Samoan Pakeha. I took a classics course because at high school I'd kind of done all these different things. I wasn't quite sure what I liked, and then I pretty much came into uni and decided that I'd do the exact same thing and just take a whole bunch of different stuff and see how I felt about it all. Yeah. From what I remember, we were given a brief and it was that we had to kind of use ancient Greek techniques and tell a contemporary story with them. I was actually really stressed out about it because there were a lot of people in the class who had kind of this Photoshop background and everything, and they had all these crazy ideas. And then I kind of sat there not knowing much about ancient Greek art techniques because it was just like a lot of new information at once. And then kind of thinking about every single contemporary issue in the world and not quite knowing which one to pick. And then kind of, a few weeks before the project was due, my mum was actually talking about the Samoan disaster. And it kind of clicked that, that was something which I'd seen firsthand the impact of. When the earthquake and tsunami struck in Samoa in 2009, I was very motivated by the tragedy of this event and wanted to be able to tell this story. In my assignment for a classics course, I blended Samoan and ancient Greek culture together. In Samoa, the tapa cloth is designed to tell stories, so I utilised different symbols and figures to portray my story from a Samoan point of view. On one half of the design, I showed how the aftermath of the tragedy affected the people of Samoa, with 2 people mourning those who had died. On the other half of my design, I used the Greek god of the sea, Poseidon, to represent the tsunami and earthquake, causing those around him to stumble and run. For my classics course, I designed my Samoan interpretation of this tragic event as a classical Greek vase that depicts a contemporary retelling of the 2009 Samoan earthquake and tsunami. The wave pattern on the vase represents how subtle the clues were the tsunami was coming. The dogs at the bottom of the design represent how barking dogs were the only alert system in the smaller villages of Samoa, alerting the people to the danger and guiding them to higher ground. The merging of 2 different cultures shows how such tragic events are experiences shared by everybody. And this project allowed me to engage my Samoan heritage, even in a course like classics, which would normally seem very far removed from Samoa. I think at the time, I didn't quite realise just how special it was. It was kind of just, something which came off the top of my head and I went ahead and did it. But I think since then, seeing the reception that got, and Dinah Burden, who was head of the course at the time, talked to me about it, and she said how impressed she was by it. And I've had a lot of other people come and talk to me about it, which was, it was really awesome to kind of see that I'd done something which was really interesting to people and that my culture was a part of that, and it was something which people were willing to sit down with me and talk about.